Humans on Channel 4. Now, I've got to say, if you've read my review, you'll know this. If you've not read my review, then I'll tell you. I'm not in any way a sci-fi fan, whether it be light sci-fi or, extreme sci-fi. Just not a genre I've ever been able to get into, because I like my reality button switched on too much. And I will say that this is the one and only time I've watched a show based solely on the fact that the ads look so good.
Yeah.
If they hadn't have pushed this advertising, I would have said, "Oh, Humans isn't for me," and I would have let you two talk about it, and I would have missed one of the best shows of the year by a mile. I love it that TV can still surprise me. I love that my taste can still vary in such a way. If a story is told well, you do find yourself getting involved in it, and I was really into this. And if it was on one of those services, I would have watched 2, 3, and possibly 4 by now.
This was very much made for me, I think, this television programme. I am a big sci-fi fan, particularly the area of robotics. I'm a big fan of the science fiction writer Isaac Asimov. Now, if you were very carefully watching the first
The names you know and the names you don't know.
If you're very clever near the end of the first episode, they talked about the Asimov chip inside each of the synths. Now, that comes from Isaac Asimov, the science fiction writer, who invented what is commonly known as the 3 laws of robotics, and they reference some of this in the show. The 3 laws, I'll read them. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human to come to harm.
Oh my god.
A robot must obey the orders given it by a human, except where such orders would conflict with Law 1. And number 3, a robot must protect its own existence for as long as such protection does not conflict with laws 1 or 2. The synths are there to serve, protect, and sort of nurture their humans. But the synths that you're seeing in the show, particularly the ones being shown that are on the run, have kind of got a consciousness above that.
It's almost plausible in a way that
it is worryingly plausible.
In the future, there might be these robots who basically will be able to do everything better than we will. I liked the theme that why should I bother to do anything with my life, because there's always going to be a robot there to do it better, and I thought that's very interesting, and it almost looks at how we're too reliant now on technology, and if something like this did happen, how obsolete would we be? Like, for example, they had as well, the NHS are buying up these synths now. Rebecca Front, who I think is in the episode the series a lot more next week, when she starts sort of being William Hurt's new synth.
The other bit that I loved was the Channel 4 news insert that they had, which again, I always love it when they bring a real life thing into it. Like BBC used to do this when they need a news programme, they use BBC News. I think I love that.
They used to do it a lot on Spooks, didn't they?
Yeah, and I loved it. But the bit that they introduced there was this idea that they said that the robots are allowing us the freedom not to have to do the things that we shouldn't be doing. And the fact that you've got the eldest daughter, Matilda, who is very much seen as if she's very technologically advanced in her ability, but very sceptical of this, and she's almost being
I think you would be,
anarchy.
And it's an interesting thing. And that's the thing, I mean, it deals with a lot of interesting themes.
Yeah.
More than anything, it is entertaining, but it's also intelligent, and it doesn't talk down to its audience. And we have had a few shows like this in the past couple of years, Utopia, and In the Flesh.
This is from the guy who wrote Utopia, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it?
These guys worked on Spooks.
Oh, because it's Kudos, isn't it? Of course.
Yeah, there's producers who worked on. There's a lot of people who worked on Utopia. I think
and
maybe one of the
music,
directors.
the music.
Yeah, it's very Utopia.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what I was thinking.
But
they
do have, and obviously Neil Maskell's in the cast as well here. But I just think it doesn't insult your intelligence, and it has.
No.
It's almost as well. I felt there was they were sort of saying things about almost slavery and stuff like that when those intelligent synths are, sold again. There's the Gemma Chan character who's sold to the family. There's the one who's sold into the brothel, and there's the one who's sold to sort of like pick fruit and stuff. So and that was interesting to me. And there is that line actually where she says, she's not a slave.
She's not a slave. I like that there were in this first episode there were 3 plots. There was Gemma Chan,
who was
there
excellent.
Was,
I thought
she's brilliant in it. William Hurt, and then the third plot of the guy trying to track down all the
Yeah.
Colin
more
Moore.
intelligent synths, and each one of the three was could have been a show on its own, I think. And
I mean, I think
and I
we
found
could
them
do
all-
a podcast on its own based on the themes
Yeah.
and the.
One-
And
Yeah.
there's so many great. I mean, that's to me. To me, a great show is one that gets me talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm.
One thing I would say that of the cast, I wasn't massively into William Hurt. I think he's been put in there because he's a big American name, and it's
Yeah.
obviously it's being
I
shown in
don't know.
AMC.
I didn't find his performance offensive in any way.
No, I just think I don't understand like maybe why there's this character is an American when he could have easily been played by a
Yeah,
What
no,
was
I-
interesting,
I
I
didn't
don't
really-
know whether you picked up on that he was called Doctor. So I wonder whether there is.
I've had a sort of a read of some of the interviews and stuff on the press pack, and his background is in robotics. So I think
Yeah.
they'll
So
probably-
I
more.
wonder whether it's got some link back to the origins.
it will
of the-
it will have
Yeah.
probably.
Okay, so humans, catch up on all four
Definitely,
now if
please.
you can.
On all
And
fours.
I think it's been a long time since that we've discussed. You know, normally on the podcast we'll tell you about a show, we'll tell you what we think about it, we never mention it again. And I think this one we're going to be talking about throughout the run. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Humans on Channel 4, all four now, and back on Sunday nights at 9 on Channel 4.